So in the world of crypto, it's often seen to be known as the wild, wild west. New frontiers, thrilling opportunities, meme coins exploding, but often we get the lawman laying down the law. Well, just a few days ago, we saw the SEC, the sheriff of Wall Street, draw its guns against two behemoths of the crypto landscape, Binance and Coinbase. Investors are now shaking in their boots and exchanges are on the defense, and worse, your money could also be in the crosshairs. Even most recently, Robinhood just announced that they were going to delist Cardano, Polygon, and Solana, and Binance also announced that they will be pausing fiat channels as soon as June 13th, 2023. On the other side of that, we've had a completely different landscape of stocks actually doing fairly well, with multiple headlines coming from Yahoo Finance to even CNN claiming that we're officially in this new bull market. So ladies and gents, in today's video, we're going to be diving deep not only into the SEC lawsuit against Binance and Coinbase and go over how it affects you and whether these exchanges are safe, but we're also going to be bringing light to the burning question, what's next for crypto and stocks? Before we begin, let's start with talking about Bitcoin. Currently, Bitcoin's right around the $26,400 price level, and it's down about 1.6 to 1.8% for the week. Now, this week has been pretty volatile with heavy price action going in both directions, where on Monday, Bitcoin was down even further at 5%. On Tuesday, Bitcoin was up 5.8%. Wednesday was back down. Thursday was up. And now today, to end this week, Bitcoin right now is all over the place, but it seems like it's solidifying right around that $26,000 level. Now, the reason for Bitcoin's volatility has to do with all the new updates being released regarding the lawsuits to Binance and Coinbase, and a lot of people pulling their funds out of crypto just because we're going through another one of those instances where it feels like nothing's safe. Now, Bitcoin is just barely above the weekly 200 moving average after dropping below it for most of this week, and while crypto has been rather stagnant, the stock market has had a pretty solid week. So it seems like right now, AI stocks are continuing to lead the rally, pushing the S&P 500 even higher, and we're also seeing the stock market actually enter the extreme greed today. Now look guys, we're just halfway into the summer, still at the start of June, and I think there's a lot that can happen till the end of the year, and I personally think it's a little bit too early to call this a full-blown official start to a bull market, but it is definitely nice to see some green within the space. As most of you guys should already know, crypto oftentimes follows alongside what the S&P 500 does, and in this instance, with the S&P 500 doing fairly well, we haven't been seeing crypto doing the same, and that's frankly because of all of the FUD and all the recent news we have from Binance and the SEC lawsuits that are coming about. I'll talk a bit more into what I think is going to happen within stocks and how I'm playing into the market, but before we do that, let's talk about the broader global economy, because right now, Europe has officially entered a recession according to data from statistics agency Eurostat. So the recession was officially declared after Eurostat revised down its economic growth forecast for both the first quarter of this year and the fourth and final quarter of 2022. Without going too much further into it, just know that right now, their largest economic weakness is coming from Germany, which is Europe's largest economy. Now, moving it back into the States, next week is going to be huge because we have a ton of significant data for economic influences that is going to change the scope of what I believe is going to happen within the crypto space, and we could see either crypto and stocks moving up a bit more, or it could actually come tumbling down. So next Tuesday, we have two big different hearings. So first of all, we're going to get the release of May's inflation report, and the second thing, it's going to be a hearing on the future of digital assets, providing clarity for the digital asset ecosystem. Following that, on Wednesday, we're going to have Powell's FOMC meeting and another interest rate decision. As of now, there's a 70% chance of no interest rate hike and a 27.5% chance of a 25-point rate hike. Now, these figures are changing all the time based on new economic data, so we may see very different numbers as we approach that FOMC meeting date. Closing in on some of the biggest headlines, guys, there's a lot we need to cover. First of all, the SEC, it finally decided to sue Binance. Now, this came out at a lot of people's surprise. It actually surprised me, and they're coming out with 13 different charges, and a few of those include unregistered offers and sales of securities, including BNB, BUSDC, the Simple Earn, and Binance Vault products and its staking program. Now, I don't think it's too important to go over every single one of these charges, but the ones that do stand out to me are even little things such as a failure to register Binance and also Binance.us as platforms for an exchange working in the US. Also on top of that, they have a ton of charges going towards the CEO of Binance, Changpeng Zhao, also known as CZ. Now, this lawsuit also includes a high-level breakdown of Binance's ownership structure, alleging that CZ actually controls 100% of Binance and Binance.us various entities, and it remains to be seen whether the ownership structure here laid out by the SEC is accurate, but it would be surprising to hear if this is actually how it's structured, because this is a lot of power to just one person. So a day after the Binance lawsuit was announced, the SEC also decided to sue Coinbase, which is an exchange that has been gone public on the US stock market exchange. And the SEC is claiming that the exchange has operated as an unregistered security broker since 2019. Between both the Binance and Coinbase lawsuit, the SEC mentioned some new altcoins as securities for the first time, and this is leading to some of the other exchanges like Robinhood going ahead and unlisting some of these other different cryptocurrencies. So as you can see on your screen, we went ahead and just listed out in a little Venn diagram the Coinbase and the Binance securities that the SEC is trying to fight against. In between them, you'll notice that we have Matic, ADA, which is Cardano, we have Axie, Mana, File, Algo, Sol, and Sand. It's pretty impressive the amount of cryptocurrency that they listed amongst all of this, and the timing of this is really suspicious too, because Coinbase was scheduled to testify before Congress alongside Robinhood and representatives of the US commodities regulator to discuss a newly proposed crypto bill. This is also happening just a short time after Coinbase decided to go ahead and sue the SEC. It could also be an ego thing. I feel like if maybe Coinbase didn't sue the SEC, they might not have been snapping back, but it seems like at this point right now within the space, the SEC does whatever they want. They can sue anyone they want, and they can just try and take down a lot of these exchanges, pushing out the growth of cryptocurrency. First of all, it's not happening within the US, it's moving towards other type of nations and countries, but most of all, it's not helping the space, and it's bringing a lot of confusion into the space. And the SEC, keep in mind, was always created initially to help govern and regulate the space for the benefit of the people, but I just don't know if that's still the case. Now, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, went ahead and quickly replied to the lawsuit on Twitter, stating that the SEC claims that Coinbase has been operating as an unregistered security broker since 2019, but he raises a really good point here that the SEC reviewed the business inside and out in 2021 and allowed them to even go public in an IPO. Now, Gary Gensler keeps saying that all Coinbase needs to do is come in and register with the SEC, but apparently there is still no clear path for them to just come in and register despite repeatedly trying to do so. Now, the CFTC and SEC both have conflicting views on what's considered a security versus a commodity, thus just making this entire situation even more confusing for a lot of these larger, established, and what I would say to be trusted companies. Now, guys, I got a funny little meme here. This is grabbed over from Twitter. I feel like it's worth mentioning, but yeah, nobody is safe from Gary. This is Bart saying, "Hey dad, I'm not a security," and he's saying, "You're not a security so far." Did y'all ever see the Simpson movie? This came out when I was like, I think in like elementary or middle school. This was an OG movie. This was legendary. Now, the next major announcement was released showing that the SEC filed a motion for a restraining order, and from that, they requested 8 actions, including freezing the assets of Binance.US, ordering Binance to return fiat and cryptocurrency to US customers, and they're also prohibiting the defendants from destroying, altering, or concealing records, and a few more alongside that list. Now, Binance.US was quick to respond to the restraining order, and they assured that customer funds were actually safe and secure. They also added that this lawsuit is the latest example of regulation by enforcement, and that this lawsuit is baseless, and that Binance intends to defend themselves vigorously. Now, it seems like Binance had to go ahead and address the FUD because there were a lot of people trying to withdraw their money. I actually went ahead and decided to withdraw about $9,000 of my own funds from Binance. That was pretty much all the money I had within their exchange, and I made a post about that within our Patreon. By the way, guys, our Patreon, it's the cost of a Netflix membership, but you get so much, including Discord community access, Monday, Wednesday, Friday posts, and even on top of that, you have a chance of me answering some of your questions in there, as well as getting buy and sell alerts for the crypto markets. So if you guys have not yet joined the Patreon, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's a great deal. It's like 70% off what it used to be, with even more value than before. So be sure to check that out. Link down below in the description. If it's sold out, which it probably will be sure to join our waitlist, and I'll send you an email the next time it opens up. Also, we're doing a $1,000 giveaway within the Patreon right now. So if you guys want to go ahead and join and see what we got going there, you have a pretty good chance of winning as well. Now, guys, out of this entire situation, we really don't know what's going on, because we're getting even more word that, Gary Gensler had actually offered to serve as an advisor to Binance back in 2019. But then there are some other articles coming up saying that it was actually Binance who reached out to Gary Gensler first in 2018 for the advisory role, which he declined. Now, the allegations of Gensler's past involvement with Binance raise questions about potential conflicts of interest, and right now, we just don't know what is really going on. Is Gary Gensler working for the Democratic Party, which is in office right now, or is he pushing an agenda where maybe banks are funding him and he's trying to push down crypto as much as he can? It's really hard to say, because we get a lot of videos of Gary Gensler involved in the crypto space, endorsing some of these projects, and then now he's trying to go ahead and start all these lawsuits with other companies, which seems like they were in the clear before. Right now, it just just things are going full circle. So the big question is whether or not these lawsuits have any merit. And the reality of the situation is that they're still in their infancy, so nothing is certain yet. But I will say the general consensus among the crypto community is that the SEC has zero merit, at least within the Coinbase lawsuit. And right now they're accusing of Binance to do all these, tons of different crimes without providing any actual proof. In my opinion, this seems to be more of a desperate attempt of the SEC to try and control and regulate the crypto industry before we get additional enforcement coming from US Congress and Senate, removing their authority and actually giving it to the CFTC. There's also two additional theories that you guys should know about, and that is the whole SEC lawsuit going on with XRP. And right now there's a thought that the XRP lawsuit is coming to an end. And if that is so, and they're actually coming to an end where XRP might win, the SEC wants to do everything they can to keep their legal momentum up in suing some of these other exchanges and other projects. Now, if you guys are just wondering, the simple question is Coinbase and Binance still safe enough to keep your crypto? The true answer is no one can actually know for certain. No one is a fortune teller, but for me, my money is out of Binance. I'm going to be staying away for the time being. I'm going to play it much safer, especially what we've seen with some of these other exchanges. But I'm more on the bullish side with Coinbase. I don't know if bullish is the right word, but I feel more safe, okay? I feel more safe and secure with Coinbase, knowing that they are backed one-to-one. They are publicly registered within the stock market, meaning they have to show a lot of their records, their funds, their balances. And Brian Armstrong he's actually been doing a great job within the space. I believe he's one of the few individuals that are just clear-headed, not because of his whole thing, but I feel like he is very aware of the situation at hand. Now, if you want to reduce your risk as much as possible, the best course of action is to use a cold storage wallet. I partnered up with Trezor, ladies and gents, so be sure to check out some of their products linked down below in the description. It's not sponsored by them, but they do have a list of great different items that you guys can also check out. On top of that, stocks are still doing well. I do think there's some chance to make money. Like I said, we're only in the beginning of June, but the market is in extreme greed. And it seems like if a lot of people run out of crypto, they're going to look towards stocks. I'm not selling my crypto. I am still very bullish within the entire space, but I do like playing opportunities where there is liquidity and we are seeing some decent price action. So if you guys do want to get started within the stock market, I have a way for you guys to get up to 20 to 30 free stocks. Check out Webull, check out Moomoo, link down below in the description. They have some great promotional offers. And by using those links, you also support this channel as well. It's a win-win. Y'all know I love those win-win situations. Y'all get some free stuff. It also supports the channel. If you guys did enjoy today's video, be sure to drop a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.